Things happening here at Stivers Ford in Montgomery.
Yes, we are here on a beautiful day, and I'm always struck driving in here just how many vehicles there are. I get in here early just as the sun's rising, and you can see just a little bit of them glinting off the top of them. And John, when you're driving in, you're greeted by just a line, for instance, of Ford Broncos. There are a jillion out here, right on the line, right on the main median coming in, and it's amazing. There are all different styles, all different colors, all different price packages, and that's just at the start. Over to your right, you got all those F-150s, John, from the XLTs to the standard ones. Over on the left, you got the Explorers, and I'm telling you, there are a ton of them in here. Every time, it never ceases to amaze me.
Well, and me as well. They shuffle the deck on us. They kind of keep us on our toes because, last time we were here, we saw what was in the showroom, what was on the lot. They just kind of move things around to keep it fresh and new and unique and exciting. And I'm telling you, folks, great deals going on. We're going to tell you all day about the fabulous deals here at Stivers. Always is the case. America's best-selling truck, the F-150, is here, and there are hundreds, and I mean hundreds for you to choose from. We'll tell you about the big savings with them as well and all the other lineup from Ford and Lincoln as we broadcast here this morning. And encourage you to come out and see our friends here at Stivers Ford. I know it might be a little cold out there, but Barry, as they say here at Stivers, the deals are hot. It doesn't matter what time of year it is. Doesn't matter what the temperature is outside. It is hot. The deals, come by and see us here at Stivers for February savings. We're getting close to the end of the month, so you need to take advantage of that here at Stivers, where price sells cars. Barry, I thought we got a lot on the docket today, but one thing I've thought about today on this Friday, and of course, we've got some great viewers and listeners, and we greatly appreciate the support. Hit that like button, hit that support subscription button. We really appreciate that. Tell your friends. But we want to hear from you. And on our River Region Straw chat line or through our Marguerite's Exquisite Jewelry email inbox, it's the take of the day. The take of the day, whether it's a question, whether it's a statement, whatever it may be, we want to hear from you. And the best one of the day is going to be recognized. Now, here are the rules. For us to distinguish what you want when you make your statement, put an exclamation point at the end of it. We're really keen on punctuation. So we need a exclamation point for you to really emphasize your statement. Or if you have a question, make sure it ends with a question mark so we know to answer your question. And we're going to have a little contest here today of who can have the best question or statement posed to the two hosts here today, John and Barry, and we want to know really what's on your mind. What are you thinking about? What do you want to ask? What statements do you want to make?
Now, Chris the Bammer at the Moon, Chris the Bammer, we'll take any question. I mean, we'll consider any question. Yes. Questions like every day, when are you going to spin the wheel? Every day, like, what does PM have to say about it? We'll take them. You can keep serving them up. But we're looking for, John, fresh.
Yes.
Provocative.
Correct.
Insightful. Not what is up with the Albs, Although that can be provocative, believe me.
And we know we're going to get those, which are great. I mean, couldn't get through the day without it, I got to tell you. But we want something there again, a question, a statement, whatever it may be. And there again, we prefer that you keep it, PG, if you will. We don't know anything about the, gynecology. We don't know anything about the porn industry.
No.
We don't know anything about
Yeah, don't ask us anything about the porn industry. Goodness knows.
the gross national product of
Ecuador. Yeah, we don't know. We don't know
that.
about Ecuadorian economics. We used to run into that every once in a while when we had our Stump the Host trivia day way back when. You know why we had to get rid of that? Because we answered every question until people started saying, yeah, what is the can you name all of the provinces of Canada? Or how many islands comprise the Hawaiian island chain? I don't, come on. Yeah. Some people accused us of Googling stuff. Nothing could be further from the truth. But nobody in the world knows stuff like that. Come on. Come on.
So here's an
except
example.
for Becky Whetstone, nobody can name all the provinces of Canada.
Yeah, that's exactly. I can't even do that. So and there again, we're opening ourselves up a little bit, but that's fine. That's great. That's what we're looking for. Range Pro taking a shot early today at 7:05. Okay, Range Pro, I got it. I'm a big boy. The Phantom has kind of taken it on the chin lately. Last night was not good. More on that later.
But a couple of points of order already in our take of the day. John has requested very nicely that if you have a statement, give it an exclamation point at the end with a little sizzle to it. If you have a question, put a question mark at the end of it so we know that you want it to be answered. Now, Ty says, will Robbie be able to participate, even though his first comment is 30 minutes before the show ends? There's no question mark there, Ty. Question mark.
Yep. That's a good point.
And you mentioned Range Pro. Range Pro says on our chat line, the Phantom's daily dog has been getting roasted. Little technicality here. He put two exclamation points at the end.
Yeah.
Only need one. Only need one, Range Pro.
Don't rub it in. Don't rub it in. You might be thinking differently tonight after we release our Phantom's daily dog, which I'll go ahead and tell you is a game in the Big Ten. That's all I'm going to give you. But yes, look, you can participate throughout the entire live 2-hour show. Now, if you want to participate at 2:30 this afternoon, I don't have an answer for you there. I don't think you're going to get any response to that. But during the live show today, a statement or a question, we're looking for the best take of the day. A take consists of a question and or a statement. That's how we define it here on the program. So, we're looking for that today. And there again, any question, it doesn't have to be sports related, but I think you know where we're going here.
Right,
I mean, come on, don't give us, the formula for something or whatever, rocket ship science, stuff like that. Yeah, I think you know the parameters, the guardrails here. So throughout the show on our River Region Straw chat line, if something comes to mind, question or statement, hit us with it. And we're going to tell you who we think was the best one of the day before we wrap up here in a couple of hours. Now, Chris the Bammer has already mentioned it. I wanted to get to it first today, Barry. This is going to shock you. So sit down. Oh, you are sitting down.
I am sitting down.
The entire USA versus Canada hockey game last night. Unbelievable.
You did not. You didn't.
Even overtime. Now, I was a little disappointed in the outcome, I will tell you. And was I watching intently, sitting down like this, going, "Oh boy, oh boy"? No, I don't want it to come across that way.
I don't believe you.
Well, okay, you're right. If you're looking for, kind of like Law and Order, where were you last night and who were you with? My wife was with me, so you can text her. She's up. She'll yeah.
Man.
Now, one thing that I did not like, Barry, is like a 15-minute break between regulation and overtime. I mean, let's get to it. I mean, what are we breaking for? I mean,
that's what John has told me before. He says, what's up with the 2 halftimes too? They play 3 periods, not one, not 2, not 4, not 4 quarters. They play 3 periods. And so they get to sit around for whatever it is, 15 minutes, come back out, play a little while, sit again for 15 minutes. Anyway.
Unbelievable. I had to listen to Steve Levy. Is that the halftime show? I mean, what is that? I mean, we go from the third period to a 15-minute rest period to overtime. So I got to listen to Steve Levy talk about hockey for 15 minutes. I'm thinking, let's go while we're young.
Well,
so the thing about the 3 periods, it's interesting you brought that up because my wife went, they don't play 4 quarters. And then, of course, I caught myself and I said, well, honey, they play 3 quarters. And I went, oh, nope, they play 3 periods.
Right.
There's no such thing as 3 quarters. So I caught myself. But, yes, she didn't understand that either.
Well, the tough one last night for me. Here's a quick story. Troy lost a game they absolutely should not have lost last night in men's basketball to Louisiana. Bear in mind, they beat Louisiana by 18 down in Lafayette last week. Had a 17-point lead in the second half in last night's game and lost to Louisiana. So I'm doing the telecast of that. I get back home. I got to get up early for the show today. So I missed this from my buddy Gary Gallant, who texted me. He's my buddy from Amherstburg, Ontario, Canada, who listens to us all the time. Love that. He texted me late last night. Canadian flag, Canadian flag, Canadian flag, American flag, American flag. Symbolizing the score. Hey, he says, what a game. Hope you're hooked on hockey. Didn't watch a bit of it last night because I was working, but I know what happened. Trump, this was in Boston. Trump was there, gave the team a little pep talk. You know, the Americans had already beaten them on the scoreboard and on the ice in the last game. What, 3 fights in the first 9 seconds?
Oh, beautiful.
I know a lot of you, that's the first thing you're asking. Were there any fights in last night's game, and how badly did the Americans beat up the Canadians? No to both of them. Didn't happen.
Yeah.
Canadians get it. They go to overtime, tied 2-2. The guy who I think is the best player in the world, his name is Connor McDavid. He plays for the Oilers. He gets an overtime goal for Canada to win this 4 Nations deal. And Justin Trudeau, the Prime Minister of Canada, soon to be the governor of the 51st state. I'm just kidding. Pierre Trudeau gets loose, and he's talking smack, and he's saying, we're not going to let the Americans steal our game. You won in overtime after getting beaten earlier. You know, I mean, that's a little bit like Bama fans saying, we just beat the out of you, when they won by a late field goal by 1, you know? So he said, if he hasn't looked, a Canadian team hasn't won the Stanley Cup since like 1993. So I'm thinking, why in the world is the Prime Minister of Canada trying to get over on the Americans for a 1-goal overtime win? If they win it 5-0 or 4-1,
it's a little different. Yeah,
I get it, but not that one. Come on now. And
so
for a lot of you, all you want to know, you don't care about the score. You just want to know about the fights. There were no fights. None.
Well, that's the first
and
thing
John
I looked
still
at.
watched it all.
I know, because I thought a fight's got to break out. I mean, that was great TV because I'm thinking there's no way this game's going to be played in its entirety without a fight. No fights. I did not realize that Trump was there. Either it was real early and maybe I stepped out of the room, but didn't realize that. But glad to know he was there to cheer on the Americans after the incident in Montreal earlier, where the Canadians booed our national anthem and the gloves dropped and the fist flew in the first 9 seconds. That's what got me hooked. I got to tell you, am I watching this? If I don't know that happened, am I watching this last night? And I've told myself, man, I got to watch this hockey game tonight. And no, if what happened earlier in the week didn't happen, it's just one of these little things they have. But I will say this: I think hockey has stolen the week. I don't know, maybe it was because of the fight, the gloves coming off. But it's been the big talk around the country. I think, obviously hockey fans are all geeked up about it. Non-hockey fans turned to it a little bit. So it's kind of been the big talk. And whoever got this together, I don't know if this is an NHL type thing where they get this together.
Oh, the 4 Nations? I don't.
Yeah.
But, I mean, they take a break right in the middle of the NHL season. I never can figure this out. My brother works for an MLS soccer franchise in Los Angeles. And we're following the schedule, and they'll take a break off for like the America's Cup or something, where they'll play a team from Tijuana or something like that. And I'm thinking, does this count? And he said, well, no, it's kind of a friendly and all that. And then they'll get back. And I'm thinking, it's like college football, you got, you're in the middle of the SEC schedule, and all of a sudden you're going to play an exhibition game against a D2 team. Why in the world are you doing this? I mean, the NHL schedule's hot and heavy and everything else. All of a sudden, all right, let's stop a couple of weeks, and all of your best players, we're going to disperse you to Canada or to Finland or to Sweden or to the United States. And then after all this is over, then we'll get back to it. That I don't get.
And maybe, Barry, just because, hockey is thought of as the fourth of the big four sports: football, basketball, baseball, and then hockey. And I think it's probably pretty far behind the third place team. I don't know how many hockey games rate in the top 100 of the year. Well, I don't know how many baseball games do either, now that I bring it up. But anyway, I think they're looking for ways to create interest. The All-Star games have kind of fizzled out. The NBA All-Star weekend was a bunch of crap. But this maybe is more interesting, and people are more, apt to look in on it. And yeah, I get it. The fight was the big thing, and it's not really what hockey's all about, but it's a big part of it. And when Canada and USA are going at it, and based on what's going on in the political world, I think that just added a little bit more to it. Trudeau, Trump, kind of trading jabs and stuff like that. I just think it was good timing.
That's what Trudeau said. Well, he got loose on Twitter, or X, at Justin Trudeau. He says, you can't take our country and you can't take our game. So that was a little jab at Trump for saying, we want them as a 51st state, which is never going to happen. You can't take our country, and you can't. Guess what, Justin, buddy, you won by 1 in overtime. And you ain't won the Stanley Cup in 32 years.
Come on. Yeah.
So, yeah.
So when we get back from the first break, I still got some more hockey questions, believe it or not. I got a few hockey questions I want to throw out there as well. Keep the questions and the takes coming, the statements, questions. We're looking for the best take of the day. We got a few. Neil, it's called Phantom's Daily Dog for a reason. We don't pick favorites. And that's just the way we – now, during the football season, when the Phantom's giving his premium selections, you might have a couple of favorites on there. No doubt. We don't limit ourselves when we go to premium selections, but this is a daily dog select. That's what we're doing here. It's a daily dog.
Now, again, John wants best take of the day. Put an exclamation point by something you'd like considered, a question mark. I got to tell you this. I know how John's mind operates. You do like Kevin Sumrall, and you put an emoji in there, John's going to be attracted to the emoji. He said, Kevin says Governor Trudeau needs to chill, with a big laughing with an LOL emoji. You throw a couple of emojis in there, John, when he's scanning real quick during the show, he's going to look at a heart emoji or a football emoji or a little tiger face emoji or something. That's probably a pretty good approach as well.
Yeah, and Kevin, you're in the lead right now, but it's early. It's early. I'll say this, Barry. Back in the day when we would, and we still do, you can email us, longshoremcknight@gmail.com. But in the subject line, if you put something like Longshore won't read this, or Longshore sucks, cheap, or anything like that, or I bet John won't read this on the air. I mean, come on, that's too easy. That's like bait. Yeah, that's bait cheap. Right there. And I'll take it every time.
Yeah, no question. It is 19 minutes into our live show. John and I are live at Stivers Ford Lincoln, Eastern Boulevard at the Troy Highway, with lots more still to come. We're in association with Yellowhammer News. It's Longshore and McKnight, presented by Bud Light.
Why Hands? At Hands Heating and Air, you get this area's highest ranked service provider with 24-hour repair service, no overtime charges, and their same-day service guarantee. Plus, instead of other companies' 30-day repair warranty, Hands gives you a 3-year repair warranty. Hands Heating and Air is here for you 24/7, 365. And service is not just something they do, it's their way of operating, for you in mind. All of Hands employees are trained to adhere to this standard. They work hard to ensure that this standard is maintained, and they are constantly looking for new ways to better serve you. Call Hands Heating and Air today at 508-5382. That's 508-5382, or find them on the web at 834hands.com.
In sports, if you think joy only happens after you win, think again. Look at the world's most successful athletes like Serena Williams, Brooks Koepka, and Alex Morgan. They don't spend all their days grinding away. They take time to enjoy themselves, like getting together with friends over a Michelob Ultra, because they know that happiness is the key to winning, and that joy is the whole game, not just the end game. Michelob Ultra. 95 calories, 2.6 grams of carbs. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. AB Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Phoenix Physical Therapy is ready to help patients recover, recharge, and rise. They develop a customized therapy plan for each patient to get them back to enjoying their favorite activities. Their experienced team is committed to providing exceptional care in a professional environment. Whether you're looking to prevent or treat an injury, recover from a recent illness, or recuperate from surgery, schedule an appointment with our clinic and take advantage of our physical therapy, athletic training, workers' comp, and employer solutions service. Experience elevated physical therapy today. Call Phoenix Physical Therapy at 239-9316. That's 239-9316.
Okay, back at it here on this beautiful Friday here, Longshore and McKnight, presented by Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Barry, let me run down a couple of the great things going on here at Stivers here today.
There's a lot.
The 21st day of the month, so we get toward the end of the month here, and Advantage Car Buyer, but February savings are incredible. $10,000 off Broncos, 10 grand off MSRP, starting as low as $34,990. The Bronco Raptor is up to $12,000 off MSRP. Great deals on the Ford Explorer, which kind of revolutionized the SUV market back in the 80s, up to $8 grand off MSRP, starting as low as $33,990 and 1.9% APR for 66 months. Need something a little bigger like the Expedition to take the whole group to the game, to the beach, to the lake, wherever you may be heading, softball game, baseball practice, up to 12 grand off the Ford Expedition, 1.9% APR for 60 months, no payment for 90 days. And I know what you're saying. Tell me about America's best-selling truck for nearly 50 years in a row, the F-150, hundreds and hundreds to choose from. I mean, there are so many.
Well, I don't know if John is frozen
Today,
up. There he is. There he
give
is.
our friends today, and they will come and assist you with all of your transportation needs.
Yep.
Barry, have you ever called a hockey game?
I have not. I've only ever seen two in my life, in real life. One was the old Atlanta Thrashers against the Toronto Maple Leafs at Phillips Arena, and the other was an East Coast Hockey League game 35, 40 years ago with the Greensboro Monarchs playing the Hampton Roads Admirals in the Greensboro Coliseum. No clue what was going on, but John, it was exciting. Had no idea. I mean, you can make substitutions in the middle of the game, in the middle of the match or whatever. It's like, shift change over there at Kia, I would imagine. Just whoop, they come in, they come out. It's weird. I enjoyed it. No real idea at that point what was going on.
Well, a couple of things there, and that's a good point you made there about the substitutions. Unlike college basketball that has a lot of stoppage in play, a lot of whistles, a lot of free throws that nobody wants to see, as I'm watching this game last night, I'm thinking this thing never stops. They hardly ever stop play. If the puck goes up into the stands, they'll blow the whistle and then they'll have a face-off on that end of the floor. but it never stops. So it's really always exciting, always moving. I thought that was interesting. The reason I asked if you'd ever done the game, Sean McDonough was doing the play-by-play last night.
Yeah.
He does a lot of college football. He does a lot of Auburn and Alabama games. I was overly impressed with his ability to call a hockey game. There again, I don't watch a lot of hockey. Probably have not paid a lot of attention to the play-by-play guys, but just how fast the game's going, the information he's providing, the names of the players that he is telling us are in the action at that time. And I'm thinking, how in the world do you keep up with all of this?
And if you pay attention to like the Finland team in this Four Nations deal, believe me, those names don't roll off the tongue. You know, I got a lot of respect for that. It's just, you know, even in basketball, you've got free throws, timeouts, blah blah blah. Even in soccer, you'll have penalties. You'll take penalty kicks, and you stop play a little bit there, and the ball goes out of bounds a lot. Well, in hockey, it doesn't go out of bounds, and even when it goes in the stands, Longshore is hoping that they get a shot of the stands and says somebody got clocked by that puck. Ooh, yeah, that old guy. Check him out. Oh yeah. He's going to have a welt with that one. Awesome.
Yeah.
But in hockey, I mean, you see face-offs and stuff when the puck goes in the stands or there's a penalty or something like that. But otherwise, the only time you have penalty kick, like in soccer, so to speak, is in overtime. And in hockey, it's a little bit more difficult to get a goal on a penalty than it is in soccer. Soccer, you got that big old huge net and one little guy.
Yeah.
I never can figure out why the NHL teams or the professional hockey teams don't go scout the nation for dudes who are 5 feet tall, 350, and just plant them in front of the net. I mean, you probably can name a couple girls like that, but just get a guy, big dude, 5 feet tall, 350, camp him out with a whole lot of pads on and everything, and just dare somebody to try to squeeze it past him into that corner of the net,
And that's another, another interesting point. I think the goal's too small. Let's make the goal bigger. Let's have more scoring. It's kind of like baseball. I like balls flying out of the park. I like a lot of scoring. And I think hockey, there again, don't watch a lot of it, but last night I'm thinking, man, you got this big old goalie, and I know he's kind of moving back and forth left to right, but give me a wider net. Let's have a little more scoring in this game. But I know there's a formula. I know they've been playing it a lot longer than I've been watching, but I just kind of threw that out there and thought, that might not be a bad idea.
Yeah.
And then getting seats up against the glass. I mean, you talking about that? I mean, no telling what those seats cost. Those guys are banging on the glass, and if somebody's getting checked right there where you are, and you're right there on them, I mean, they can't get any better.
The banging on the glass I do like. Hey, pop, 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 with the guy in front of you. I know they have club hockey at Alabama, and that's a waste, because if you're on the front row at an Alabama hockey game, and it's club hockey, it's not sanctioned or anything, and you got the same people that are on the front row at an Alabama basketball game, you got somebody checking in front of you. You know what those guys behind the glass are doing?
Yeah.
Just like they do at the basketball games, If
you're going to sit on the front row of a hockey game, you better be expecting to stand up, hit that glass. And there again, if they're coming your way and there's a big collision, a big check up against the boards, I mean, you're thinking that's the greatest thing I've ever seen. That's worth the price of admission. And there were a few of those last night, which I thought might trigger a fight. Didn't happen, but there was a lot of action there as well. One more thing. I don't want to say the last thing. One more thing. What is the crease? I heard them using the term crease a lot last night.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find the definition.
All right. I know Gary's watching. The crease is that little area in front of the net. And basically, you can't waylay the goalie in the crease. I mean, the goalie, that's his area. Otherwise, some guy would get ready for like a 40-foot slap shot, and you'd have some big dude just come and, knock the goalie out of the way. And then, so you can't mess with the goalie in the crease. is
Yep.
what I understand.
Okay, that makes sense. I just didn't realize that's kind of like that area in basketball that you can't get underneath or whatnot.
Because they don't want to give, the attacking team, the offensive team, an advantage by knocking the goalie out of the crease to where he can't make a play. Visualize the Iron Bowl when Roy Upchurch really needed to make that catch in the end zone, and Alabama was able to use one of their wide receivers to screen off the Auburn defensive back to pick him off over there to where he couldn't cover Roy Upchurch, and Upchurch scored the game-winning touchdown.
Now,
in the Iron Bowl. That's not fair either. But
are you talking about that particular play or the 4 plays prior to that moved Alabama down inside the 10? Because somebody would tell us that there was one particular player, I think it might have even been Julio Jones, that was picking guys off the whole way down the field. That's what I heard. I've heard that statement made many a time.
It's the same concept. It's the same principle. That's what they're trying to get rid of in hockey. They're doing a great job. Still hadn't figured it out in football. Maybe they can get Hunter Renfrow to give them some tips on how to make a pick play look legitimate, because it's a bad draw.
What goes around comes around. One thing I did mention, I did see as well, talking about keep the crease and not interfering with the goalie. There was one point in the game where the Canadians were taking shots, and an American player, I don't know if he just fell or slipped, but his whole body was laying on the ice, which he used as a defense mechanism. I mean, the guy slaps a shot and hits him like right here. Instead of it on his stick. He's got his stick all the way extended. His toes are extended this way. That's about a 10-foot area. I mean, he's 6 feet, stick's probably 4. And I'm thinking, wait a minute, can you lay on the ice to block a shot?
Absolutely you can. Absolutely
the whistle
you
didn't
can.
blow.
Now he's laying down there, probably took it in the ribs, fell down. Who was it? Was it Rudy Stein who Buttermaker told to go up and just take a pitch in the ribs? That's what you got to do, man. That's what you got to do. And Bad News Bears, look it up, kids. Yeah. Well,
that'll hurt. We'll go do it anyway.
The believe it or not, and I'm shocked, we have been getting a lot of feedback on our hockey conversation. Mr. Hockey, John Longshore, and me talking a little hockey. Now, my son, Jack, he is a hockey fan. I can't figure it out because we never watched hockey growing up. He has watched the Birmingham Bulls to John Dent's thing at the Pelham Civic Center. Alabama hockey is at the Pelham Civic Center. I got a great picture of Jack and my granddaughter Olivia at a hockey game. She was very small. She had these earmuffs on to protect her ears because it's loud. And she's like less than a year old, and she's yelling. You can see Jack's going, and she's yelling at the refs and stuff like that. I'm thinking, all right. So it's a great experience. I just never had.
Check it out.
I grew up in Florida, for goodness sakes. I've lived in Alabama for a generation. There's not many
there
opportunities.
3 or 4 NHL teams in Florida?
There are 2 that I know of, and it's like a friend of mine said, because the Florida Panthers down in Miami never really have drawn very well, although they've won a Stanley Cup or 2. And a buddy of mine says, now I know why a lot of Canadians, they had a franchise down in Florida to try to attract all the Canadians to the games. He said, now I know why the Canadians moved to South Florida. It's because they hate hockey, because they ain't coming to those games. So we've got a lot still to come. Glad you're along with us here. He's John Longshore. I'm Barry McKnight. In association with Yellowhammer News, it's Longshore and McKnight, presented by Bud Light.
Don't miss your chance to win big at Victoryland Casino. Play the latest, hottest, most exciting games around with fun bonuses and big jackpots. Don't miss out on your free play. Stop by Player Rewards today and check out this month's exciting free play promotions. Come see why our players keep coming back. You'll have more fun at Victoryland Casino, where you can be a winner too. Victoryland Casino, located off I-85 exit 22, Shorter, Alabama. Must be 21 or older.
All right, man, grab a Budweiser and take a knee. It is the best time of the year. It's baseball season. That means sunshine. It means behind-the-back peanut tosses. And it means sharing some cold, frosty Budweisers with your boys. Because there's nothing more American than watching America's game with America's beer. So let me ask you something. Are you ready to bring your A game? Are you ready to cheer every frozen rope down the line and amazing catch at the warning track? Are you ready for pitchers' duels and slugfests? Tell me, are you ready for the thrill of an incredible walk-off victory? I can't hear you. Are you ready for Budweiser and baseball? Then get on your feet, raise an ice-cold Bud, and let's make this season larger than life. Great times are waiting. Grab some Bud!
Enjoy responsibly. Budweiser Beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
Local banking expertise, the newest innovations and technology, personal attention, genuine hospitality. It's all just part of the Riverbank and Trust difference. They invite you to experience it for yourself. Welcome to banking above and beyond at Riverbank and Trust. Locations throughout the River region, locations throughout the state of Alabama. River Bank and Trust. All righty, welcome back in, everybody. About 24 minutes to the top of the hour. We are live here on this beautiful but cold Friday at Stivers Ford in Montgomery, where Price sells cars. Come by and see our friends here today for February savings all over the lot here at Stivers. Whether it's a truck, an SUV, an automobile, whatever you may want, new or pre-owned, they've got it all. And, of course, the Lincoln lineup as well. Lincoln luxury for less right here at Stivers in Montgomery. All right. So, a couple of good takes, couple of good questions.
Like him so far, yeah. Early leader Kevin Summerall saying that Governor Trudeau needs to chill out, kind of like that.
Yeah, that's a good
hockey stuff. I didn't realize we had the hockey people around.
Really good hockey stuff. I'm with you there, Barry. Range Pro says the Phantom might just need a good slump buster Friday to break this 2-day L streak. Now, wait a minute. I think Gracie was on a much longer slump than just 2 days.
Yeah. Well, the entire Cubs franchise. Gracie, Mark Grace, was talking to Jim Rome in basically John's second favorite episode ever of Jim Rome on the Jungle. And he was talking about slump busters. And it's evidently a thing in Major League Baseball, unfortunately. And he was not talking about a slump buster for him necessarily. He was talking about the need for somebody to perform the slump buster for the good of the entire team. You know, take one for the fellas, I believe.
That's right.
Was what Grace's phrase was at that time, John. So.
I think he said something about the raunchiest, gnarliest chick he could find in the hotel lobby, I think, but I got to go back and look. I'm not sure.
No, you don't have to. That is exactly what he said. Yeah. So John
I think Range Pro. I think the Phantom's got to go. I mean, I don't want him to post L's by any stretch of the imagination, but I think you got to go on like a 4 or 5 day, maybe even a week long L streak before you drop the slump buster card. Again, when the Phantom's winning, he never hears anything. Never attaboy. Hey, Phantom, I'm killing local man. Hey, thanks for padding my bank account. I never hear he never hears things like that. You let him lose 2 in a row, they're coming out of the woodwork. It's unbelievable.
I remember when Auburn football lost to Oklahoma this year. Alabama did the same thing, but Auburn's loss to Oklahoma was at Jordan-Hare Stadium. And Auburn quarterback Peyton Thorne, who, by the way, 10 years from now, everybody's going to be like, who? Name sounds familiar. Peyton Thorne was getting a ton of unseemly tweets and Instagram posts and stuff, calling him all kinds of names, John. Wow. Somebody asked him about that, and he says, well, I'm not on social media anymore, but nobody ever gives a social media post about, hey, Peyton, great game. Boy, I sure needed you to cover, or something like that. It's the same thing all over the place. It's just a little bit more public with the Phantom because he puts it out there. Some other people, you may talk with your buddies and say, fellas, I'm telling you, you got to take the Titans in this one. +3 at home.
Yeah.
And when it doesn't work out, the Phantom's Daily Dogs is every day right here on Longshore and McKnight on video. You can go back and check the tape. When you're talking with your buddies and saying, I never said the Phantom, I never said the Titans +3. Wait a minute, you got any tape on that? No, I don't remember that at all. Phantom has it right there. It's always documented. He can't escape it. And he doesn't want to escape it as well. It's just every once in a while, it would be nice to have somebody text up here and say, hey, Phantom, appreciate the winner. Thank you.
Yeah, just show the love. We'd appreciate that. But we're going to give you our daily dog later in the program today. Two-time Caller of the Year, JD, good points. And it snowed in Montgomery and Troy earlier this year. So basically, we're hockey aficionados now. Okay. All right. I get that.
It was 4 inches worth. Unbelievable.
I've heard this as well.
Said he once yelled out slump busters at Mark Grace when he was walking out to first base. Got a reaction for sure.
Sure, yeah. I bet he did.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
I bet
he also says Nashville Predator games are worth the road trip. I mentioned that to my wife last night, Theoda. Her best friend lives in Nashville. And I said, we might ought to check that out and maybe take a visit because I've heard a lot about Preds games. They're at Bridgestone Arena, where the SEC basketball tournament will take place in about 3 weeks.
Right.
But those Predator games are real popular in Nashville.
They are. They certainly are. Usually sell out, which brings me to my first question, my take of the day.
Okay, let's hear it.
Will it be a sellout tomorrow night at Coleman Coliseum?
Okay.
Alabama loses they ascended to the number 2 status in the country, which for the majority of Alabama fans means that they're the first loser. If you're not number 1, many of them question the reason why you even fund intercollegiate football at the University of Alabama's Tuscaloosa campus. But they got to number 2 in basketball, had the Aubs at home, didn't win that one, didn't win at Missouri, lost that one by double digits. Now they got Kentucky. Yeah. Now, Kentucky's not great. They're 18-8, pretty good, but not great. But Kentucky's Kentucky, a blue blood, a helmet game, even though they don't wear helmets. 5 o'clock tomorrow, ESPN, Alabama at home. The ESPN cameras, when they spotlight Coleman Coliseum, will there be empty seats?
All right, I'm gonna answer this in several ways, or I'm going to make several statements as I answer it. First one, will there be more people in attendance for tonight's Auburn versus Alabama gymnastics meet at Coleman Coliseum, or will there be more people tomorrow night for Alabama and Kentucky for men's basketball? I think it's a top 15 matchup between the Tide and the Tigers.
I never have called a hockey game, but when I was doing television full-time, I was the gymnastics guy. I've been to a jillion gymnastics meet. I used to do the public address for Auburn Gymnastics for 15 years. And I've been to an Auburn, Alabama. I've broadcast an Auburn, Alabama gymnastics meet. It is nuts. My color analyst was a lady named Dana Dobransky, who later became Dana somebody else and was the women's gymnastics coach in Alabama.
Duckworth. What it Dana
Duckworth. Yeah. That's it. That's right. But she was Dana Dobransky whenever I was working with her. And, I mean, it was nuts. I mean, it was a sellout. They had some great gymnasts like Andrea Pickens and all that, and it was great. So don't automatically discount John's question out of hand saying, gymnastics? No. They love them some gymnastics.
And I know there's a big promotion. It's Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and I know they're doing a big there's a big promotion centered around that for breast cancer awareness. So I know that's big. As a matter of fact, I think that will be a part of Saturday's basketball game as well.
Right.
So they're doing a big push on that, as they should. But back
they
to
also,
your initial question.
With women's basketball, yes. Yeah.
Yes. So back to your initial question. I'm not sold. I'll say this. I think there'll be an extremely large crowd at the game. Will it be standing room only? Will it be 15,043 or whatever the place holds? I would probably lean to no. But it is at 5 o'clock. It's at a convenient time. Go to the game. Game's over. Go out to eat dinner, whatever. Make a night of it. I will be in Tuscaloosa tomorrow. So if anybody would like for me to go to the game with them, I'd be more than happy to consider it. I do have some requirements, parking pass and floor seats. If you can't provide those, I'm not interested. But I will be in Tuscaloosa tomorrow, but maybe I'd be willing to sit somewhere else because, I don't know, might want a little change of pace, but we'll see. I could be one of those people to help it reach that sellout level, just saying. But no, I just don't think so, Barry. I know it's Kentucky, but Kentucky's kind of not where they've been in the past in terms of maybe prestige or as good as they've been in past seasons. Alabama's lost 2 straight. Does the fan base come together, energize, say, we got to have this one? It's a biggie. We don't need to drop 3 in a row. We're trying to be a number 1 seed. But if you're asking me to put money on it, I think if they counted every head in the Coliseum, I think there will have been more last Saturday than there will be tomorrow.
Let me make one more comment about that, about the question. Will there be a sellout tomorrow? I think there should be. For now the number 4 team in college basketball against a blue blood like Kentucky, place ought to be filled. This drives me nuts, and it has my entire career with John. He'll bring up something that's the most inane, goofy thing that you'd ever want to hear in your life, and I'm like, and you watch, in the passage of time, it'll end up happening. I have gotten, over the last week, more chatter from friends of mine, solid, intelligent, functional human beings that say, man, I could not ignore that press area at Coleman Coliseum during that telecast. It's the worst. It looks like a gigantic cesarean section scar, which, to let you know the gender of the people who were telling me this, Oh,
that is awesome.
Don't ask us about that because I ain't never seen one of those either. And no, I don't.
Hey, were those from males or females?
That's what I'm saying. And it's the craziest thing. I'm thinking, who in God's green earth cares about where the press row is at a basketball game? John hammers it and hammers it and hammers it. It's unsightly. Those people are like cigar store Native Americans.
Indian,
they don't move, anything like that. And I'm thinking, who the heck cares about that? And of course, in the time that he's brought this up, especially after last week, when I guess a lot of eyeballs were on Alabama basketball for the first time in a long time, they were like, I noticed that because John said something about that. And every time they showed it, I couldn't take my eyes off of it. They'd show a wide shot of the arena, of the Coliseum, and people would be full. The place would be packed, and I'm sitting there looking at that instead of anything else. They got to do something about that. I'm thinking, this is a bad dream. This can't be happening.
It's a grassroots. I don't want to sound like a politician here, but it's a grassroots groundswell. You got to get it started somewhere. So I really appreciate people noticing that. And that word's eventually going to get to the Mal Moore building and to Greg Burns' office. And somebody's going to say, Greg, we got to do something about this media area. They are killing us on social media. It's all over the place. People are tired of looking at these media guys sitting on their hands playing, computer golf on their phone while the game's being played. Get them out of there. We need to put fans there. We need some excitement, some energy, not a dead zone there while in the middle of our prime seating areas. It's ridiculous. So, yeah, I'm glad that our friends that watch and listen have picked up on that. And I'm sorry, tomorrow as you watch the game, I get it. Now you're going to be fixated on it. Here comes the flow of action. Boom, I'm looking up there. Okay, I get it. But you got to start somewhere. Just try to wean yourself off of it. I know it's kind of like a guy trying to quit smoking, but just push the pack away a little bit. That's all I'm saying.
It's like when you got your kids at the grocery store and they're toddlers and stuff, and they're running around wanting the sugar cereals and all that kind of stuff. And you're going down the aisle And this has happened to me before, so don't think any less of me. This happened at a Waffle House in Auburn with my son when he was tiny. Somebody comes the other way.
Was Gus Malzahn there?
No, this is way before Gus Malzahn.
Okay.
When you see somebody coming the other way and they have had, I don't know, an injury like John's collarbone injury, where they have the big thing with the support under their arm, and they're going around like that and everything. And you're thinking about your kids. You're thinking, please don't have them say anything. Please don't say anything. Now, kids, don't say anything about this man coming up here with the huge cast on his leg or the big scar on the side of his face or something. Don't say anything. Yes, ma'am. And as soon as you walk up there, Mom, did you see that guy's arm? Oh, my gosh. And that scar on his head. They're looking at him the whole time like this. And, very self-conscious about it. Same thing with that.
Oh, yeah.
Now, you can look at all 15,000 seats of Coleman Coliseum, and John has ruined it for a lot of people, because you'll see the entire wide shot. You'll see the student section down here. You'll see the fans, and you think your TV has frozen because nobody's moving. And then you look over there and just say, there it is. That's what John keeps talking about.
Never moves. There it is. There's that eyesore. I'm going to keep hammering this, Barry, because it really bugs me. It really does. I mean, look, as a member of the media, I don't care. I mean, move them up in the corner. I think where Auburn's media is, it's kind of up in a corner on the second level. It's not on the floor level. Get them out of the way. I mean, really.
Do you agree with this? Do you agree with Auburn? Because in football at Jordan-Hare Stadium, the media is over in that boat anchor off on the south side in that corner by the entrance.
Yeah.
In basketball, they're upstairs. In baseball, with the new configuration, I was there on Tuesday. They've got the press, the working press, the Caldwells and the Matthewses of the world, off down in the right field corner. I don't love it, but that's the way it is, because
Barry,
the press area now is you got the big box guys in them. Auburn will do that, and they'll say, you don't like it? You don't have to show up.
I totally agree. I mean, I don't want to be that mean about it, so to speak, but look, we're here to make money, and we're here to make our big wigs happy. They did it in Tuscaloosa at Bryant-Denny. They finally, I'm going to tell you, the press area at Bryant-Denny was awesome. I mean, it was between the 20 to the 20. I mean, I'm dead on the 50 every game. I'm thinking, man, this is
halfway
great.
up where, the sidelines are great and everything. Same thing at Auburn. In the day, it used to be perfect.
I'm thinking, why in the world do they not use this for premium seating? What'd they do? Boom. Turned it into premium seating at about with a $5 million commitment. There's like, I think 8 or 10 of them up there. How about that revenue that they just found? I mean, gee whiz, you got $50 million rolling in that you didn't have because you had a bunch of media guys up there eating free meals. I mean, come on. It's ridiculous. So I think eventually in basketball, they're going to wise up and say, we can have our fans here. We don't need guys that aren't creating any excitement. I had a couple of more things about the game with Kentucky. You said sellout. Does that mean how many people are there or how many tickets are sold? Because I think
good point.
It'll be sold out. Now, how many of them actually go? There's going to be, it's going to be close to a sellout. But for me to sit here and go hard sellout, and probably, Barry, the tipping point for me would be, is anybody camping out for this game? I mean, that seems to be a big deal. And they had like 4 or 5 pup tents out there for the last home game they had.
4 or 5?
I've seen no reports, and I'm not even sure that was real. I'm not sure if that wasn't something that somebody, did a little Photoshop on social media on, because I don't remember any TV station or credible news outlet going out there to report on these alleged campers. But anyway, how many pup tents are out there in front of Coleman Coliseum today getting ready for the game?
I am going to find on Twitter or Instagram, I can't remember where I saw it, the interview with 3 or 4 Alabama students in their pup tents, and there are more than 4 or 5 talking about how excited they were to have the Auburn game coming and what a big event this was. John's thinking, yeah, they got a bunch of kids in front of a green screen somewhere at the campus television station, and they superimpose Coleman Coliseum in the background. Hey, can somebody bring in a pop-up tent and put it behind this guy in the studio so it looks legit? Let's take a break.
I mean, I saw that interview. I'd never seen the guy doing the interview. I mean, where was D. Jackson from 3340? I mean, he'd have been all over that from Birmingham. I mean, I didn't see D. Jackson over there interviewing any of these people. And it was on some crazy social media out. Somebody sent it to me. And I went, wait a minute. Well, I don't know about this. But be that as it may, I'm just bringing up the point. Are people camping out for a Kentucky ticket? That might be a good way to gauge how many people in terms of a sellout tomorrow night.
What you don't want is for BBN, Big Blue Nation, who shows up, other than Auburn and Arkansas, Kentucky shows up for road games better than any. What you don't want is kind of what you had a little bit in the Auburn game. If you ain't using your tickets, if you're Alabama fans and you're not planning on going because your team has lost 2 in a row and you have jumped off the bandwagon, you're still going to float those tickets on the secondary market because you don't want to take a loss on those babies. You got them, but you got no plan for all of being there. And you're going to get some Kentucky fan that's going to snap them up at the price you want, and they're going to be out there, and Greg Byrne ain't going to be happy with you.
Barry,
don't want that.
A great text on my VIP River Region Straw text line. I have not heard from this guy in a while. He's a fraternity brother of mine, and I'm glad to hear from him. He says he's watching us. Thanks. Appreciate that.
Appreciate it. Yep. Thank you.
The press area in Coleman is like the Fred Savage character in Austin Powers, the mole. Remember? I know exactly what he's talking about. Fred Savage and that big mole.
Yeah, that's right. Yes. And everybody kept looking at it. You know, it's like in the remake of 101 Dalmatians with Glenn Close and everything. They had Hugh Laurie. They said, whatever you do not look at the scar on his face. And as soon as they opened the door, oh my God, look at the scar on your face. Yeah, it was crazy. Yeah. We'll take a break right here.
Yeah, we will. Getting close to the top of the hour, Barry. We are here live at Stivers Ford in Montgomery, where Price sells cars, F-150s as well, America's best-selling truck for nearly 50 years in a row. We're getting up to that 50-year mark here with the Ford F-150. But, folks, look, let's just cut through the chase. If you want to go around and look at other car dealers, that's fine. That's what, kick a few tires, whatever. But you're going to end up right here back at Stivers because nobody has a better selection of vehicles. They have got more vehicles on the lot than any dealership in Alabama. There's no way a dealership in this state has as many vehicles on the lot right now that Stivers does. Great sales associates to help you through the process. And look, they're not here to nickel and dime you and bait and switch kind of stuff. They don't have to do that because they've got the best lineup of vehicles, the most popular lineup on the road today. And then, of course, the buying power that Stivers has, they pass that on to you. So there again, check stickers if you want to, but nobody's going to beat the prices that Stivers offers. Price sells cars, and we're talking about savings thousands and thousands of dollars on the most popular lineup in America today.
In association with Yellowhammer News, it's Longshore and McKnight, presented by Bud Light.
Hey, joining us today is Mary Ann from Marguerite's Exquisite Jewelry, 8163 Vaughn Road in Peppertree. And it looks like Mary Ann's in the repair shop there at Marguerite's, which is very important because Mary Ann, from time to time, a bracelet or a necklace or something, might break or something might happen. And you have a full service repair shop there at Marguerite's.
We do, definitely, yeah. Don't worry, I'm not going to be the one to repair your jewelry, but I am in the shop today. So I've got all the tools around, and we really do. When they say we make it, we really make it. We do at Marguerite's. We have 3 in-house jewelers, which is amazing. Custom engraving machine, laser engraving, hand tools, you name it, 3D printer. And I hear that your wife may be in need of us pretty soon.
Yep. We were out of town, and she was taking off a sweater, and her necklace got caught, and it broke the chain. I said, honey, no sweat. When we get back home, I'm taking it straight to Marguerite's. They'll have it repaired in no time.
Definitely, yes. Sweaters, long sleeve shirts, or gosh, like a toddler, whoever. A chain sometimes gets pulled, and we can do it in house. I've had so many people come in to Marguerite's and just say, I need a new chain. I broke mine. I'm just like, well, you can get a new chain, but we can actually repair it here. We've got torches and laser welders and so many different things to fix those chains. And so, yep, just bring it. We can fix it up in-house, which is great. It's not going anywhere. And we can also size those rings up. Or my mom broke a bracelet. I never took it off, and she had to have a little medical procedure, and it's like hanging on by a thread. So I carried it with me today to get it fixed. So you snag something, don't worry. We can get it knocked out and fixed at Marguerite's.
Open 7 days a week for your convenience there in Pepper Tree on Vaughn Road, 8163 Vaughn Road. Marianne, I'm telling you, I'm bringing that necklace as soon as I get back in town. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Oh, boy, we're back at it here, kicking off the second hour live from Stivers Ford in Montgomery, Longshore and McKnight, presented by Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Barry, if you'd allow me a couple of minutes to kick off the second hour, there was a little nervousness. There was a little uncertainty. There was a little, almost panic in the world of James Bond yesterday. If you are a James Bond aficionado and have followed that series since the early 60s, when Dr. No came out and hit the cinemas,
You're
you know
just a stupid policeman, you know. They got me on that one. Loved me some Dr. No.
Oh, Dr. No. It was great. Ursula Andress coming out of the Caribbean Sea. Wow, man. Underneath the mango tree. Yeah. But Cubby Broccoli's daughter and stepson, Michael G. Wilson and Barbara Broccoli, had been producers of the Bond franchise, had total control of it, and have sold it to Amazon. And Amazon will have complete total control of the Bond franchise. The Barbara Broccoli and Michael G. Wilson will still have some input, but not the input that they had over the last couple of decades since their father passed away. And so the panic, the uncertainty is, what will Bond be? Will it be a mini series? Will it be something that drops on a streaming service and you get an episode every week, or will it be a full blown production as we've known it to be? Certainly, that's what I'm leaning toward. I want it to stay that way as a motion picture, but I don't know. There has been some talk about who the next Bond will be, and a lot of people have been interested. I don't know this character, his name, Barry, but I think he played Superman in one of the Marvel movies. He's in this. I think he just turned 40. I know there's been a lot of talk about him being the next Bond.
If you're talking about Henry Cavill, I think that would be the guy.
I think it is, yes.
He's big and strong and handsome and all that kind of stuff, and he's got the British accent and everything. I never really thought about him. There's a guy named James Norton I thought of. Some people had talked about Idris Elba being the new Bond, a black James Bond.
Yes, that really got going, Barry, about 7 or 8 years ago. Now he's kind of gotten to that point where a little old because they want these guys to make 3 or 4, and they're thinking by the time he gets to his 4th, it could be like Roger Moore in A View to a Kill. But
Roger Moore was going out with that figure skater in For Your Eyes Only. She was like 23, he was 54, and that's not right.
No, that's not right. So
Idris Elba,
anyway,
he got shot in the head by Denzel Washington, an American gangster. He dared Denzel that he wouldn't shoot him in the head, and he did, right in the middle of everybody.
Sure did.
That's one thing I really remember about Idris Elba.
But I know Amazon's got a lot of money to make this right, but they're going to want to make their money back. So does that mean we get more if they do keep them in the theaters? Is it more of a 2-year cycle like it was in its heyday in the 70s and 80s? I would think so, because I'm thinking they want to churn them out as much as they can. But in doing that, I just don't want the quality to diminish and just the nuance of what Bond was all about. I don't want it to get crazy. I don't want it to get into a mini series. I don't want it to get into a TV show. So that's where the uncertainty and a little panic is. Hopefully they will preserve it and improve on it, but not cheapen it.
Now, when John says nuance in a Bond film, he's talking about, I hope the cuffs and the what was that, John? The cuffs and the
collars and the cuffs.
The collars and the cuffs match. That's the kind of nuance John's talking about more than anything else. Or, you know, the things I do for England.
Yes.
Oh, James. You know, that's the nuance John's talking about.
Maybe the best one in Goldfinger, I must be dreaming.
later paraphrased by Stewie and Family Guy, and I must be shrooming. But
so anyway, Barry,
honestly, this is the Amazon deal.
Yeah,
I don't want it to be a mini series.
No,
I do like Henry Cavill a lot. I think he's a terrific actor. But John, the world is changing.
Oh, it is.
It's not enough. The world is changing. When was the last time you have watched a motion picture in a motion picture theater?
I can tell you, No Time to Die, the last Bond movie. That's the last time I went to the theater. I
can't tell you the last time I have seen a movie in a movie theater. Of course, you know, I work evenings a lot, so I don't get to go. Bless my wife's heart, she's a gem for putting up with my schedule. But maybe they're looking at that as well. You're right, Amazon, they didn't get to be Amazon by not understanding business. Would they get more revenue from a Bond series, 12, 18 episodes spaced out over 3 years, as opposed to one extravaganza of a movie? That's I would think that your concern there is a very legitimate concern.
So I was with some other Bond aficionados last night, and then we talked a little about it. You know, we didn't have a martini. We might do that tonight if the conversation continues. That would be appropriate, don't you think? A martini, talk about the future of the Bond franchise. I might throw a text out later today. That'd be a good idea. So I don't know. And I checked out some stuff on the internet. You know, there again, a lot of uncertainty, but you know, Bezos, you know, he's going to do it his way. He's got complete control, but I just hope they don't screw it up and they still, you know, rely on what made that franchise so popular. We'll see how it goes, but it moved the needle, the Richter scale, a little bit yesterday when that news came out. Bill from Baltimore, this is a pretty good one. Bill Belichick says, "Hold my beer" to Roger Moore, in reference of them both being a little long in the tooth.
Well,
of course, Roger Moore's not with us anymore.
Yeah, you know, about them having significant others who are significantly younger than they are. Now, you're looking at two guys who have no problem with that.
No.
Yeah, both John and I have married. I got no problem with that. But
no, not at all.
Yeah, you're going to see a lot more of that kind of thing, where motion picture franchises kind of morph into Netflix, Amazon Prime, Paramount Plus series. The young directors, the young producers, they are, by and large, except for a few of them, the young producers and directors are gearing more towards miniseries or, you know, Netflix series or things like that, because there's more of you watch a motion picture and it's done. Now, I am not a big Marvel Universe or DC Universe guy. I've seen a few of those movies, but that's all it is anymore in movie theaters is series. You know, you've got Iron Man, you've got Superman, you've got, you know, Aquaman, you've got all of that stuff. And it's over and over and over, and they'll cross over and they'll put Thor in it, or they'll put the Hulk in it, and it'll just keep it going and going. Basically, it's a series itself, but it's more on a larger scale, as opposed to Downton Abbey, or, you know, what are some of the other ones that have been really, really popular that go on, you know, 12 episodes a year, every year, making money. People, you know, pay the subscription price for those. It seems to make really good business sense to do that as well. But Bond has always been a movie. A Bond miniseries, hey, catch the latest episode of Bond. Just episode of Bond. Check the episode of Bond coming up every Tuesday on Amazon Prime.
And so, and I don't know a lot, but Barry, is Amazon in the business of making movies that are released in theaters? I mean, I was under the impression that Amazon wants you to go to Amazon to watch their stuff, not go to a movie theater to watch it.
Yeah. It would be a break from the Bond series to move it out of the theaters, but also it would be a break for Amazon Prime, to pay to produce an epic full-scale Bond and not have it on Amazon Prime. I mean, on Amazon Prime. You know, that's what they do. So the tradition's going to break somewhere. Either the Bond is going to break, or Amazon is going to break from what they do.
And I know they're looking at it to what's going to make us the most money. Kind of sounds like the SEC and the Big Ten in football. I get that. What's going to make us the most money? Are we going to make more money by producing a film and releasing it on Amazon Prime? You know, a 2 hour and 15-minute movie every 2 years? Or are we going to make more money having a 10-episode series similar to Yellowstone and things of that nature? Is that where we're headed? And I wonder which one makes the most money. Bond movies aren't cheap. You know, they spend a lot of money making those movies, $300-400 million.
Always on location, except the only thing I know about Pinewood Studios is that it's in London, and that's where they always film the Bond stuff. But the effects and you know, Pierce Brosnan didn't come cheap. Daniel Craig didn't come cheap. Just the expenses of that. But then again, I've always thought, we loved The Crown. I think The Crown was on Netflix.
Yeah.
Loved that. That went on for years and years. And we were marveling about how expensive it must be, because they had sets on you know, the royal yacht. They had tons and tons and tons of extras in the background and stuff like that. So you can produce a full-scale Bond epic on Amazon Prime. To me, it's just weird to release a Bond movie and it not be in the theaters. And I think that's where it's going to go.
Yeah, and I'm wondering, I don't know what the future of the theater business is. There again, I don't go to movies at theaters. I'm at the age now, it just doesn't, you know, I can wait. The last Bond movie is the last movie I went to in a theater, which was a couple of 3 years ago. But I wonder, the big things now are these Mission Impossible movies. What other big time productions are at movie theaters? I mean, I can't even tell you something that's at the theater that I go, wow, man, I got to go see that. Back in our day, I mean, we were going to movies all the time because, you know, there wasn't as much out there as there is today in forms of options to find your entertainment choices. But I just don't even hear about movies that come out.
The only time John hears about movies is when they are up for Academy Awards, so he can ignore that. That's basically it. Oh, the Academy Awards? When is it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And
okay.
who's up? I mean, so it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. But some big news. Just
wild, wacky stuff.
Uneasiness because things look like they're going to change just a little bit.
When we come back, Chris the Bammer, this is how you do it.
Yes.
Chris the Bammer says, spin the wheel, Gordon, with an exclamation point at the end. Well done. Yes.
Hey, also, when we come back, I guess it's time for the Phantom's Daily Dog.
Oh, yep, coming up as well. And
Yep.
don't forget, there is also conversation. We talked about this a little while ago, but basketball tomorrow, 40 miles east of here.
Yeah.
On the plains in Auburn, the oldest continuous rivalry in the Deep South.
There you have
Georgia
it.
comes in to take on the #1 Auburn Tigers. Will there be any empty seats there? We'll talk about it as well as Longshore and McKnight continues from Stivers Ford Lincoln, Eastern Boulevard of the Troy Highway in Montgomery. In association with Yellowhammer News, it's Longshore and McKnight, presented by Bud Light.
Okay, joining us now, Brian Reynolds. He is the director of golf at Cambrian Ridge in Greenville on the Robert Trent Jones Golf Trail. And hey, Brian, I know we've had a lot of rain. Weather hadn't been very cooperative, but that still doesn't mean that our listeners and our viewers can come see you to pick up those trail cards and also all of the new merchandise and equipment that's arriving in your pro shop.
That's right, guys. We've got the new TaylorMade Q35. We've got the new TaylorMade Elite, named after the old founder of Callaway, Ely Callaway. We got the TaylorMade, we got the Ping, the Perils rolling in left and right, whether it's Peter Millar, Vineyard Vines, Straight Down, Southern Tide. We've got it all coming in right now. Puma, shop's getting full, running out of room, so we need folks to come buy some stuff. It's getting thick in there.
I love it, Brian. Man, you are just packed in with new merchandise and apparel for the upcoming golf season. And speaking of that upcoming golf season, that trail card will pay for itself in no time. Folks need to go ahead and get that 2025 trail card.
That's right. It pays for itself the first time you use it. It takes your golf, whether you're playing, in Greenville or at Prattville, somewhere around the $46 to $56 price range. If you walk in here without one in our prime season in the spring, we're going to hit you for $125. So, you buy the $50 trail card, pay your $56 for golf. It's still cheaper than walking the door and not having one. So if you're an Alabama resident or live within 2 hours of any trail facility, make sure you get that card, stash it away in your wallet, take a picture of it on your phone so we can give you that discount. And hey, the caveat on top of it is you gain points every time you spend $1 with that trail card, whether it's food and beverage, golf, merchandise. You gain points, and for every 500 points you get a free round of golf. So if you're looking to buy a driver, irons, rangefinder, shoes, buy it with us. You get points and you're going to get a free round of golf. If you buy a driver, you get a free round of golf right then, $500.
Yeah, that is awesome, man. That is fantastic. So for more information, go to rtjgolf.com/Cambrian Ridge, or better yet, just go by and see them there in Greenville. What's your phone number for more information and to book that tee time when this weather gets a little better?
Just give us a call at 382-9787. I'm sorry, 382-9787, and we'll get you taken care of.
Awesome. Brian, thank you so much, my friend. A lot of exciting things going on down there at Cambrian Ridge. We'll see you soon.
Thanks, guys.
Hey, glad to have Brian join us here today, this morning. Will Fisher in about 30 minutes from up at Capitol Hill on the RTJ Trail. And I know it's cold today, Barry, but I understand, man, we're going to have a big warming trend in the next couple of days. So maybe Sunday, head out to the link, because I understand the weather's going to be great. Temperatures warmer, things warming up next week. So, get out there, and we'll check in with Will here in about 25 minutes or so.
Yep.
Okay, you ready for the Phantom's Daily Dog?
Let's recap a little bit. Yesterday,
Ooh, do we have to? Ooh.
Well, yeah, we're straightforward in this. Yesterday, what did we have yesterday? What was?
Well, we went to the association. We dabbled in the NBA, which we've been pretty hot in the NBA lately. We had the Atlanta Hawks at home hosting the Orlando Magic. There was only a half a game difference between these two teams in the Eastern Division.
I want to say, was it the Hawks favored by 1.5 points at home?
Point and a half. Yep. Orlando's 18 games out of first. Atlanta was 18.5 going into last night. Home dog catching 1.5. Hawks did not deliver for me last night. Tough night there at State Farm Arena.
Final score, Magic 114 and the Hawks 108. Not only did they not need the 1.5, They won the game outright.
Well, actually, the Hawks were catching 1.5.
That's what I meant.
They
That's
needed
what
a
I
lot
meant.
more
I
than
mean,
1.5. Yeah,
well,
that was kind of tough.
This
And
is
that
what was
sounds to
tough
me
about it.
a game where no defense was played either, kind of like Alabama's game the night before.
Here was the problem here. And I know the Phantom, is elbow deep in all this stuff. Hawks led that game early by 19.
Unbelievable.
19 points.
Yeah.
And the Phantom is already, he's got the Cohiba out. He hadn't snipped it yet because the Phantom's been hurt before. He's got the Cohiba out. He's, running it across. 19-point lead.
Yeah.
Didn't hold it. Paolo Banchero had 36 points in the Magic. Comes from 19
the Phantom
down.
Yeah, the Phantom has learned from many, many years of handicapping. He uses the words of the wolf.
Those aren't the only words he was using either.
Yeah, don't let the 19 get you all giddy. And the wolf said something that kind of last night popped into my head, and I just said to myself, "Words of the wolf." All right,
Hawks led 40-21 in the second quarter, and they trailed at halftime. How do you lead 41-20 early in the second quarter?
Yeah,
and you trail by 1 at halftime? You talk about falling apart. John, it wouldn't surprise me if the Phantom never even looked at another Atlanta Hawks game, much less delivered an opinion on it.
That was a tough one. That was tough. Seems like you're on that side. How many people were on Orlando? I'd like to talk to one of those people that had the Magic last night. Okay, so tonight, I guess this is still called the Big East, I guess. But we're going to go up to the northeastern part of the country at 6 p.m. tonight on FS1. How about this matchup, Barry, where Marquette is traveling to Villanova, and Villanova's catching 1.5 at home tonight?
Yeah, Villanova is not the same Villanova that it was under James Wright or Raleigh Massimino. Villanova's 15-12. Not going to make the tournament unless they win the Big East, and it is still the Big East.
That's
Marquette's doing pretty well. 20 wins on the year, number 16 in the country. Marquette goes into Philly as a 1.5-point favorite. Villanova is the dog in this game.
They are a home dog, and Barry, you just laid it out there for us. I mean, shouldn't this spread be a lot bigger than 1.5? Oh, I'm taking the 1.5 and the home team, Phantom's daily dog, Villanova plus the 1.5 against Marquette. How about that?
I just, the Phantom, he's everywhere. The Big East, really?
Go East.
The Big East.
Yes.
The Big East, it ain't Syracuse anymore. It ain't Georgetown. It's Creighton. It's Xavier.
Oh, yeah.
It's Butler. Phantom don't care if it ain't the old Big East. He's playing the Big East today. I like it. I like it a lot.
So check that one out tonight. FS1 at 6 p.m. Okay. Man, we've had a lot of good conversation today.
Yep.
Hockey. How much hockey talk? How about that? A little news on the James Bond front as well. We're going to get to the Victoryland 777 topic wheel, because I believe one of the topics today happens to deal with something that will happen tomorrow. So maybe the wheel we can just let the wheel supplement that, if you will, when we get to that. So we'll get to the Victoryland 777 topic wheel here in just a second. Before we do, Barry, college football, Steve Sarkisian says, we're not having a spring game. Not going to do it. Here it is, middle of February. Maybe people are making their plans to come to Austin for a, what do they call, what is that? Blood orange and white? Are those the
burnt
orange
and white?
Burnt orange. And for the burnt orange and white game or whatever they call it, he says, well, we're not doing it. And he gave us reasons why: young players,
things of that nature. Think
played a lot of
OTAs,
games last year.
Yeah, played a lot of
Texas
games.
played whatever it was, 15 or 16 games last year.
Yeah.
They need a little bit more rest. Even though some people will say, they're young. What else have they got to do? Let them play.
Yeah. So, what about other teams doing the same thing? Is it too late for, I don't know, Auburn or Alabama to make those type of decisions? I know their 8A games have been set. I think there's some sponsorship connection to them as well. I mean, how much is Golden Flake paying you to have a spring game? I mean, is it really worth it?
Some of them are selling tickets to their spring game,
That's right.
To not have that anymore?
Yeah.
I wonder. Nebraska is not having a spring game. There are several others who are, and Ole Miss had the Rebel Day or something under Lane Kiffin. They actually had that last year where the fans are there. But, John, there wasn't a bit of football to be played. There were skills competitions and fan interaction. Let's see some big old duffer run the 40 or run a few pass patterns. And, Kiffin would – it was not a spring game. It was not a scrimmage. Those are going away. And Sarkisian gave a lot of reasons why. He's talking about, we played 16 games last year or whatever it was. We don't want everybody to see what we're doing. What he's also saying, John, is we don't want everybody to see all of our young players. Hey, man, this guy looks good. Did you see the televised burnt orange game? Man, they got this freshman. Let's see if we can get in contact with him. They don't want that as well. It's a trend that seems to be gaining some traction. Let's see who else. UCF isn't going to play a spring game. There's several Big 12 teams. Sarkisian says, I just don't know if rolling the ball out and playing the game when we only get 15 practices in the spring anyway is the best for us to maximize the opportunities that we get. You used to practice 2-a-days in the spring all the time. You practice all to death. Now you only get 15. Not all of them are in pads. You only get 3 scrimmages. Do you want to waste a practice in the spring?
No. For a glorified fan day, just have a fan day, but don't parade out a glorified warm-up session. I caught a lot of flack years ago when I was very critical about spring games, worthless, could care less, have no interest in going. But I understand there's, fans that might not be able to go in the fall. I understand that. They want to get their little taste of what Alabama or Auburn football is all about. I get it. So just have a fan day for the general public. When you wrap up spring and you're through with your OTAs or whatever you do, or even if you're going to do it in the summer, just have a time in the spring, maybe around a basketball weekend or something.
Yeah.
And let the fans come out and run from the goal line to the other goal line to get an autograph of the head coach.
A poster or something. That's the trend that's going out there. Here's another trend. And stay with me on this one. We're going to go to break, then we'll hit the topic wheel in a bit. I think we had a chat earlier. We brought this up. Officially, after this baseball season, this Major League Baseball season, officially, once this Major League Baseball season is over with, MLB and ESPN are going their separate ways. ESPN will no longer carry Major League Baseball after this season. And I know what the knee-jerk reaction is that, ESPN knows Major League Baseball is not a moneymaker. No, this is why it is. It's because Major League Baseball, number one, Rob Manfred is really ticked off. ESPN doesn't seem to be carrying many Major League Baseball games anymore. There's not that much. Plus, he says this, John. He points out that ESPN was available in over 100 million homes in 2011. Right now, ESPN pay television, 53.6 million. ESPN itself, the over-the-air cable network, is available in almost half the number of homes that they used to be in 14 years ago. Rob Manfred says, quote, "We do not believe that pay TV, ESPN's primary distribution platform, is the future of video distribution or the best platform for our content." John, I'm here to tell you, if they're talking about James Bond moving to streaming, hey, dadgum sure are looking at Major League Baseball moving to streaming. Basically, they're saying that cable is passé. I don't get it.
So they're going to, well, and whether you watch it on cable or stream it through the internet like I do on YouTube, I think there's a couple of things here. What was it? 10 years ago, you said they had 100 million subscribers? 14 years ago.
Yes.
14 years ago, you did not have all of the entertainment options that you have today. I mean,
Correct.
Cable TV pretty much dominated your choices 14 years ago. So I can see people moving away from it, finding other ways to consume it. Also, I think there again, it doesn't help that Major League Baseball did not have one game rated in the top 100 sporting events in a year, where the National Football League had many, dominated the top 100. That's where ESPN's putting all their money, and that's where they're putting all their focus. It is all about the NFL on ESPN, with the games that they broadcast, with their daily shows about the NFL. I mean, that's where they're going. That's their big deal. I mean, even the NBA. I mean, they put NBA games on Friday nights, which, that's not a great night for television. People usually get out and do something on a Friday. I think the Major League Baseball, I think they got a game on a Sunday night on
Sunday
ESPN,
Night Baseball, which I loved.
But the rest of it, it's all NFL. I mean, that's where they're putting their money.
Understand that's Rob Manfred, the Major League Baseball commissioner. He ain't happy with ESPN, and he's not afraid to make it public. He says they're only available in 53 million homes. That number is highly debatable. There's industry insiders who say, man, ESPN, that's nowhere near the numbers anyone is reporting for ESPN. They're saying ESPN's in a lot more. Manfred's kind of underselling them. But to your point, he also says this, quote, furthermore, I put it to you, Greggy. Furthermore, we have not been pleased with the minimal coverage that Major League Baseball has received on ESPN's platforms over the past several years outside of the actual live game coverage. John, he's talking about what you're talking about. They're not accenting it on First Take. They're not accenting it with Stephen A. Smith or, other specialty programs around the horn. Basically, all ESPN is doing, according to Rob Manfred, is just the absolute bare minimum. They're putting the games on, but they're not using. In the NFL, John, you know this, in the fall, you cannot go a minute on one of the ESPN platforms without them having some NFL specialty show with Teddy Bruschi or Randy Moss or.
There's no doubt. And like I mentioned, Laura Rutledge hosts an NFL show every weekday on ESPN. There's an hour-long NFL show every day on ESPN. In the middle of the summer, done. It's going on. So yeah, you're right. And if you listen to national sports talk radio, and I just dabble around. If I'm channel surfing in the car and I'll listen to college sports, or I'll listen to FS1 or Cowherd or some of these guys on ESPN that I've never heard of before, Barry, it's amazing. They're still talking about the Dallas Cowboys. I'm thinking the Super Bowl was over 3 weeks ago, but it's all about the NFL. They're still talking about the Cowboys. They're talking about Jerry Jones. And when LeBron James retires, I don't know what they're going to talk about, because it's the Cowboys and LeBron. That's every day on national sports talk radio. And when those guys are done, I don't know what they're going to talk about.
They've got, that's exactly what Rob Manfred's point is. ESPN, I'm not saying it's their duty to pump up, the sports that they carry, aside from just carrying the games. But it's costing them the ESPN contract because ESPN, they don't try to do anything more than the absolute basic letter of the contract. They do in the NFL. They do with NBA, with LeBron anyway. You're right.
Yeah. A couple of things, though. That number that you gave me that dropped from 114 to 50, is that just cable or is that everybody?
I'm
cable. Thinking, people that watch it on YouTube or Hulu or whatever, you get it. So, yeah, I get that they've, I guess, cut the cable cord, but I still have ESPN. I watch it all the time. I mean, it's on my YouTube TV package.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering a little bit about those numbers too.
Yeah. The industry insiders are questioning that as well, John. From 110 million, nobody's questioning that it was at 110 million in 2011. But when he said that about 53 million in 2024, the last time they measured it, there's a lot of people who are going, wait a minute, that doesn't sound right.
So if baseball is so wonderful and great and ESPN's treated them so badly, is TBS falling all over Major League Baseball to pick them up, or TNT or Fox?
That's a good question. That's a good observation, because I've always said that the primary attraction of Major League Baseball is local. You follow your local teams because they play 162 games. There are local TV outlets for every Major League Baseball team. Meanwhile, in the NFL, they all franchise it all together, and that's how they present it. Major League Baseball is really, really local. So, are you going to see Fox Sports jump in and get Major League Baseball? They might, or they have. I mean, they are. Are you going to see, one of the other sports outlets jump in and get Major League Baseball? Fox is in, but are you going to see somebody else do that? I don't think so. I think what Manfred is saying is that the future of Major League Baseball coverage is on the local level where everything's available, but not on ESPN. So
yeah, are you going to have, if you want to watch the Braves, do you see a day that you're going to have to pay to watch them?
Yes. Yeah.
You're going to have to go to some streaming service to watch the Braves every night.
Which is difficult, because if you're like me and you like the Braves and you like the Dodgers, but on a Saturday afternoon in the summer, and you want to sit down and watch a Major League Baseball game from somebody who's not, your local team, you're going to have to pay for it. If you want to watch the Kansas City Royals, you're going to have to pay for it. If you want to watch the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, you're going to have to pay extra for that too. So I do have questions about the way it's going to happen, but it's largely a local enterprise. That's the appeal of Major League Baseball. But how do you market it on a national level? That's going to be the question. Well, we are on a national level. Glad you're along with us here. Locally, we are at Stivers Ford Lincoln on the eastern boulevard of the Troy Highway in Montgomery, Alabama. He's John Longshore. I'm Barry McKnight. In association with Yellowhammer News, it's Longshore and McKnight, presented by Bud Light.
Well, the Crimson Tide and the Auburn Tigers are really hot in college basketball. And so are the deals at Stivers Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Prattville. Alabama and Northwest Florida's largest volume Ram truck dealer is Stivers in Prattville. And at Stivers, they have the largest selection of Ram trucks priced at thousands less than other dealers. How about a 2025 Ram Bighorn 4x4 crew cab with savings of up to $15,000 off sticker price? Also at Stivers Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, they have fantastic savings on the entire Jeep lineup, like the Wranglers and Jeep Grand Cherokees. Head over to Stivers Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram today on Cobbs Ford Road in Prattville, where Price sells cars and trucks.
Introducing Budweiser Zero. 0% alcohol, 0 grams of sugar. Full Budweiser flavor. A refreshing alcohol-free brew that tastes like the real thing. Budweiser Zero. 0 alcohol, 0 compromise.
Dixie Electric Plumbing and Air rallies for you. No matter the problem, Dixie will tackle it. Their licensed and trusted electricians, plumbers, air and garage door technicians are ready to win for you. From toilets to garbage disposals, circuit breakers to HVAC systems, Dixie never fumbles. Don't throw away your hard-earned money on second-string contracting companies. Score big with Dixie. After all, they are your biggest fan. Visit calldixie.com or dial them up locally at 262-2946. Hey, we're back at it here. About 20 minutes to go until the top of the hour, live from Stivers Ford, where Price sells cars. F-150s, you're going to save thousands on F-150s here at Stivers, where Price sells cars, and so many to choose from. The lot is full, and F-150s are very popular in this part of the country.
Yeah.
I remember talking to Eddie Stivers years ago, and he said, man, I was blown away about how popular F-150s are in central Alabama, and he knows, and that's why they have so many on the lot, stocked, ready to go in all different types of colors and trim packages, four-wheel drive, two-wheel drive. They've got what you want, and you're going to save thousands, and I mean thousands, on the F-150 of your choice here at Stivers.
Yes, and you owe it to yourself to come by and take a look at the finance deals they've got as well. Low interest, long term. You know, the whole gamut of incentives. Look, John can explain the automotive business financially pretty well. Detroit will send a lot of Fords down here because Stivers sells a lot of Fords, John.
Yeah, they do.
You know, therefore they know Stivers is moving those vehicles down in Montgomery, Alabama. So when the finance manager here at Stivers gets on the phone and says, "Hey, we're going to take delivery of these. What kind of incentives can you give us?" Detroit is coming up with stuff to help move those vehicles at Stivers because, I mean, they are moving them down here. The fact that Stivers is so high volume means that they can offer incentives, they can offer prices that not many Ford dealers nationwide can offer.
That's exactly right. Price sells cars at Stivers Ford in Montgomery, 4000 Eastern Boulevard. Hey, our man Will Fisher, the director of golf at Capitol Hill on the Robert Trent Jones Golf Trail, joining us here this morning. And I know, Will, it's a little chilly today. Maybe some of those northern vacationers want to get out early, but I know the weather's going to warm up. Things are going to be great in the next couple of days throughout the next week. And I know you want our viewers and our listeners to come see you there at Capitol Hill.
Yeah, you know, John, I just got through talking to a group of guys probably in their early to mid 60s that played 36 yesterday. I wanted to check them. If I was allowed to give them an IQ test, I probably would have this morning just to check on them after being out in the cold weather. But I guess if you're from, up north or, Michigan, Wisconsin area, you're probably used to that. But no, golf courses are, they're in good shape. Believe it or not. I mean, we've, still got a little couple of holes over on the Judge that are, wet from all the rain that we got. And plus the river levels in the Alabama River rose due to the rain north of us in the Birmingham area and so forth. So, but golf courses really are in good shape. And so it is going to start to turn. Weather is going to break. And when it does, we're going to be ready for people. And, as always, greens really are rolling good this time of the year. So, and looking forward to maybe the big guy in the White House can merge these two tours. I would love to see this happen and get these guys, get DeChambeau and some of these guys back into the Players Championship or the Masters. So, looking forward to that. That's sounds like that's right on the verge of happening.
Yeah, well, he's pretty big in golf now. He's
been signing a lot of executive orders lately. Maybe that one's on his desk today.
I know. I don't know. I don't know what the holdup is. I know it's obviously money and trying to make everybody wholesome and right as far as those guys that did go versus those that didn't go and so forth. But it's going to be the best thing for golf to kind of reunite all of this and everybody play well together and share the same sandbox again.
With you there. Yesterday, Barry and I were at the Montgomery Regional Airport. I look up, I go, whoa, wait a minute. That's Charlie McDonald. What's he doing out here? Heading to Minneapolis, he said, for a golf show. So I guess you got merchandise coming in. He's checking out new merchandise as well across the country. Man, your golf shop's always loaded with the latest apparel and equipment. Looks like more's on the way. Tell us about that.
Yeah, absolutely. We just got in a new shipment of pullovers from Puma. We've got some new pullovers and hoodies that came in from FootJoy. So we are rocking and rolling from a merchandise standpoint. New FootJoy shoes came in. We've got new Puma shoes coming in next week. And so then we've got all the, demo stuff for the new Callaway Elite woods and irons. We've got all the new stuff for the QI 35 and their wedges and their irons. So we're ready to go for the golf season. If you don't need new clubs, one of the things that we always try to talk about is when we do have demo days, which they'll start having some of those demo days about middle of March. You'd be crazy not to at least come out and kick the tires a little bit and see if you can pick up some additional yardage on your driver, see if you can find a wedge or a putter that maybe fits you a little bit better, just to improve the game. John, I know you think you can really buy a golf game, but the old saying is you can't, but I'm going to tell you, nowadays with all the fitting and technology, all your TrackMan stuff, we can get you pretty dang close.
Well, also bear in mind this, they're called demo days, not demo months, John.
Right. Yeah. Right. Well, yes, exactly. John likes to demo. He thinks the trial period should be more like a 6 month, 8 month kind of testing kind of thing. But he's it's one of those things where where he is, you can get a hold of him. I told him the last time we did that, I would probably going to have to start taking DNA samples, just to make sure if I had to recoup my club that I could do so legally through the law.
But Will, let me ask you about this. You mentioned that just a second ago. You probably got golfers out there who have a 5-year-old set, pretty technologically advanced, and they think, no, I'm good. Technology changes all the time, doesn't it? I mean, come on out and at least take a look at what else is out there that's new. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, absolutely. Especially the demo days, especially because there's not necessarily a real commitment or expectation that you're going to buy. It is an opportunity for you to try it, but you're correct, Barry. I mean, the biggest thing that I can tell you that, at least from driver and wood standpoint, that has been a big change is, the face and the limit on how fast the ball can come off the club face really hasn't changed in several years. What it is doing, what these companies have figured out, is that if they can move the weight around and make the driver more steady, it increases the MOI of the driver. But really what it means is that it's just taking your shot pattern, instead of you missing way out left and right, they've tightened it up real tight, and that by having that driver head real steady at impact and not turning a whole lot, it helps you become a better, more accurate driver. And so the other thing that they've done through AI, we know AI is a big topic worldwide right now. Golf is using it as well. And Callaway really was one of the first ones to use it, but they are using AI to make the outer parts of the club face hotter. So that it's not just your ball speed when you hit it dead center, it's also increased ball speed when you hit it out on the toe. And that's where I live, is out on the toe of the golf club. And so I appreciate the AI coming along and making it a little hotter out on the toe. I like a little flip of the wrist right there at the very bottom.
Sure, man, I love it. I need all the help I can get, and man, I love hearing that information. And if you want more information on that or anything with equipment, apparel, or just want to go out and enjoy some wonderful world-class golf, Capitol Hill on the RTJ Trail is your spot. They can go to rtjgolf.com/Capitol Hill, or they can call the pro shop. What's that number, Will?
Yeah, they can reach us at 285-1114. And they also reach us online, like you said. The one thing I do want to tell you guys, and John, you and I can talk, a month or so down the road off air, but once we're updating on the legislator, once we finish that, we're going to start updating the driving range and the practice facility, building some additional putting greens and improving everything. When we do that, I'm going to see if we can get on the schedule and get you guys out. I think you would find it
Oh,
really,
yeah.
really neat to see this. I think we've already got the best practice facility in the state, but I think now it's going to be where we're going to have one of the best practice facilities, if not in the Southeast in the country.
Man,
Again,
that's exciting.
it
Yes.
is. Again, the number for tee times and more information, 285-1114. All the information available online at rtjgolf.com/Capitol Hill. Will Fisher, always a pleasure. We appreciate it.
Thank you, buddy.
Absolutely, Barry. So much. Thank you. Y'all have a great day.
You too, buddy. Yeah, we'll definitely get out there for that. That sounds
Yeah.
exciting. That practice facility is already incredible. I can't imagine what more they're doing to it. And I'm a little interested in what changes they're making on that legislator course. So we'll definitely get up there. All right, I know Chris is chomping at the bit. We're going to have should have plenty of time to get through the Victoryland 777 topic wheel. Gern's going to load it up for us. There we see it ready to go. Gern, give it a whirl. Let's see what we got. Around and round it goes, where it lands.
Jeez.
Oh, hey, let's start with Troy. Why not? Let's talk about the Trojans.
Well,
if you already started to pack your bag for next week, you're going to do that
yeah,
this weekend.
We're leaving on Sunday morning at 9:00 for a week-long trip. This is my second day of 7 straight shows away from my home studio. Troy lost one. Robbie's already commenting on it. Robbie evidently woke up about 10 minutes ago. Robbie, you got to get up earlier, man.
Come on.
Talking about stuff we've already commented on is fine, but it'd be timelier otherwise. Yeah, Troy lost one last night, had a 17-point lead. Louisiana wins in Troy 72-69. Troy plays tomorrow at 3:33. It's the final regular season home game against Coastal Carolina, 3:33. It's senior day and all that. Tickets available at TroyTrojans.com/tickets. But there's also baseball. Troy baseball plays this afternoon at 3:00. The number 24 Trojans against Northwestern State. I've got ESPN Plus for that on television and on radio. And also there's a lot of other stuff going on as well. A lot of it is off campus. So that kind of catches you up a little bit on the Trojans.
Yeah, Robbie, get up earlier.
Yes.
All right, man, let's get it going. Let's spin it again and see what comes up next on the Victoryland 777 topic wheel, where you can be a winner too. All right.
Where else?
Where else? Where else?
Usually those words begin a sentence like, where else are you going to get somebody who tells you like it is and doesn't worry about whether your media credentials going to get revoked or whether the athletic director is going to cut his eyes at you? Where else do you get cutting edge commentary other than right here?
Well,
this
you're
is
right
probably
about
not
that.
the same thing.
No, it isn't, but I'm glad you brought that up because that ruffled some feathers too. Wait a minute, I don't want to lose my free meal in the press box. Whatever.
I hate that tone of voice. Okay.
All right, Nashville is holding the SEC men's basketball tournament in about a week or so. And I love it. Nashville's got it going on.
Yeah.
It's a great city. It's laid out well.
It still would not surprise me when I watch the television of the SEC tournament if Gern Jr.'s out there, as a mop guy on the baseline at one of those games. I can say, hey, Gern, because he's done that before, evidently. He's been the mop guy down at the SEC tournament. This time it's in Nashville, which is Gern's neck of the woods. I'm thinking might want to see him there. That's probably the only reason why they still have it there, to be honest.
That's correct. There's word on the street that he's going to be at the tournament. We're trying to work on some credentials for Gern, as a matter of fact. There's a member of the media here with Longshore and McKnight.
Very nice.
So Nashville's a great spot, great place, got a lot going on. But where else should they play this tournament? Is it locked? And I know Nashville's got it for a long period of time. And when Nashville gets their new dome facility for the Titans, I'm sure they're going to make a play for maybe the football championship as well.
Yeah.
But where else could the basketball tournament be?
There's only 4 places that it could be. Only 4 in my mind. Atlanta, Nashville, New Orleans, or Dallas, Texas. or somewhere around there. San Antonio, say.
I didn't think
somewhere
about
around the
Dallas.
University of Texas.
San Antonio's interesting too because they have an
Yeah.
NBA franchise,
and it's closer to Austin and
yeah.
College Station than Dallas is.
I like having it in cities where there's not a school located. I mean, obviously Vanderbilt's in Nashville. I don't have a big problem with that. They're not playing at Nashville's gym, which they actually did many, many years ago. I believe the tournament was in
Memorial
Vanderbilt's
Coliseum. Yeah.
My feelings about Atlanta, I just, I think the location's terrible. It's hard to get to. You can't tailgate. There's really no pre or post game thing going on in Atlanta. Don't get it. New Orleans, it's very easy to get from the Quarter to the Smoothie King Arena. You can play it there.
It's right next to the Dome.
Dallas, I hadn't really thought about. San Antonio, really hadn't thought about. I understand Tampa was kind of neat, convenient from where everything happens in Tampa. Just there's other stuff going on in Tampa that time of year besides basketball, I guess. St. Louis years ago, they did that just to do it.
That was not good. Theoda says maybe Houston. Houston's right next to College Station. It's not too far away from Austin, and easy to get to. As a matter of fact, I believe you can fly directly to Houston from the Montgomery Regional Airport. Am I right?
Not Houston, not yet, but they're working on that.
Okay.
That is in the works for that to possibly happen. But I don't know. It's just there again. I don't have a problem with Nashville. Just was curious about where else it could happen.
Take a break. We'll be back in just a moment. Longshore and McKnight, presented by Bud Light.
Jim Massey's Cleaners and Laundry is an Alabama-based, family-owned and operated business that specializes in dry cleaning and laundry, serving the river region since 1941. There are 12 convenient locations across the river region. Find one close to you or call 481-1911 for free pickup and delivery. For 83 years, Central Alabama has trusted Jim Massey's Cleaners and Laundry. You should too. The Destin Connection Seafood Market offers the freshest seafood direct from the Gulf of Mexico with deliveries daily. Snapper, grouper, pompano, flounder, copia, along with medium, large, and jumbo shrimp, hand-picked crab meat, and chucked oysters. They can even cook your order for easy, quick pickup. The Destin Connection can make a po' boy with any of their seafood items that folks in New Orleans rave about. Go by and see them at 3750 Norman Bridge Road or call 288-4272 for pickup orders.
Okay, welcome back in, everybody. A couple of minutes to the top of the hour. I've scanned, just so we don't forget before we get back to the wheel, Barry, I'm going with Chris the Bammer for his take today in all caps with a question mark, exclamation point, surprise look emoji. No baseball on ESPN.
Not that he would notice. I mean, we could tell you that all of a sudden the National Log Rollers Association is not having their timber championships on ESPN, and that would impact Chris the Bammer's viewing habits just as much as no Major League Baseball on ESPN. I get that. Take of the day is going to be a thing every day here on the program.
Yeah. So the all caps, the question mark, exclamation point, and surprise emoji.
See,
I think that got you over the top.
That's the thing right there. John says it has to have an exclamation point if it's a take, and it has to have a question mark if it's a question. Chris covers all his bases. Emoji, question mark, and exclamation point. He went with the big guns. Nice.
All right, Gern, let's spin the wheel.
More.
Congratulations to Chris today. Yeah, one more. We'll keep the others. We'll hold those over if we can't get to them. And it's going to stop on green. What's the number?
How many times has John said that in his life? Usually on the phone.
Yeah, exactly. What's the number? Is it dealing with the Phantoms' daily dog today, which is Villanova, plus the 1.5 hosting Marquette? No. The number is, how many SEC teams do you think are going to make the NCAA tournament? Is 13 realistic? I'm hearing that number.
Yeah, it's realistic. I'm thinking more like 11, but it wouldn't be a shocker if there are 13 teams. We're going to really start exploring that next week. Our resident bracketologist, Jerry Palm, we're going to get to him maybe in the next week whenever we get close to the, or week after next when we get to the final week of the regular year before we get to the tournament. But he is projecting 13, at least the last one that I saw. I'm a little bit more cautious. I'm thinking 11. Whatever it is, it's just nice to see that the SEC has it open-ended instead of Greg Sankey demanding that they have 12 teams, no matter what, automatic qualifiers like he's trying to do with football, which is unfair.
Man, unfair.
Well,
I love it, Greg. You keep going. It's all about, it's a business opportunity, as it is here at Stivers Ford, Barry. 1.9% APR for 60 months or up to $15,000 off MSRP and no payments for 90 days. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
The F-150. And they've got so many here on the lot for you to choose from at incredible savings. $15,000 off MSRP or 1.9% APR for 60 months and no payment for 30 days. $10,000 off the Broncos. So many of those to check out as well. The Ford Edge up to $11,000 off MSRP as well. And Barry, the lot's loaded. So come out and see our friends here. It's warming up. Skies are gorgeous today. Throughout the entire weekend, Stivers Ford is where you need to be.
Yeah, the other car dealers in the area think that's unfair, but hey, sometimes life isn't fair. Stivers just has better products and better deals.
Greg Sankey's telling you that. You know, life's not fair.
Monday, my best guess is I will be doing the show from Texas. And we'll be back recapping the weekend, a whole lot more. Taking your take of the day, another dog of the day from the Phantom coming up on Monday. The Daily Dog is back in action again. Between now and then, why not schedule a visit to Stivers Ford Lincoln, Eastern Boulevard of the Troy Highway, where we're on location. For John Longshore, I'm Barry McKnight. In association with Yellowhammer News, it's Longshore and McKnight, presented by Bud Light.